lucky. You think, oh, God, they're going to let Granddad.
You know what? You're bloody right. Now, my mother is not here tonight. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the genders in between. God, that does make me sound so modern, doesn't it? I'm not really. You know, the truth is, us old gits, we're not really comfortable with this whole gender fluid business, you know, because, I mean, you meet a young couple nowadays, they've just had a baby, you go, oh, that's great, congratulations, marvellous news. A boy or a girl? Waiting for it to decide. OK, fair enough. No, what you see before you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is an old git of 80 with grey hair and an unusually wide parting, and of course the must-have fashion accessory for all old gits, the fabulous necklace from Specsavers. Some people, of course, go for the Specsavers tiara, a little royal wear. I think that's getting a bit pretentious. So the thing is, I think we can safely say that I am a fully qualified old fart. And let's face it, they don't call us old farts for nothing because, you know, it's a fact. I'm sorry to tell you, but as you get older, your digestive system gets weaker and you just do fart a hell of a lot more. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. It can be really inconvenient as well, you know, because suppose, you know, you're feeling a bit fruity, a bit sexy, a bit up for it. You go to give your wife a hug. The pressure of the hug makes you both fart, so that's the end of that. Back to the Antiques Roadshow. And as for oral sex, I'm afraid that's right out the question. I mean, yeah, you guys heard of a thing called Russian roulette? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oral sex, Russian roulette, bit like it. Anyway. So, but the point is this, that I think it's statistically probable that nearly all of you here tonight are one day going to reach the age of 80. I just got there a bit ahead of you, right? So what I thought I'd do tonight, mark your card for you, let you know what to expect a bit further down the line, okay? Because I tell you what, you will not see it coming, I guarantee. One of these days, you'll be walking through Marks and Spencer's and you'll suddenly go, ooh, a beige cardigan with elbow patches. Yeah. Put that together with my dung-coloured corduroys and my highly polished walking stick, and hey presto, babe magnet. Whatever you do, though, don't go down the Michael Portillo route of wardrobe as compensation, you know. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting on an ordinary, boring suburban train, reading to you from an out-of-date railway guide, but come on, pink trousers. One thing you need to know is that when you get old, you're a target for muggers, you know, because we're the easy meat, right? The low-hanging fruit. So you need to learn to defend yourself. Now, some people go for Aikido, some people go for Jiu-Jitsu, some people go for karate. Me, personally, I have mastered all the Japanese arts, right? The lot. So, not only can I kill you with one blow of my forearm, but on your grave, I can do a really bloody minimal flower arrangement. Now, I had a bit of a funny week this week. Went to see my friend Dennis. Dennis is 93, in a care home, in a wheelchair, doubly incontinent, peeing and crapping in his pants. And I chatted to him. But he's got his marbles, you know. Chatted to him for a while, and he looked so pathetic. I said, Dennis, do you ever think of, you know, the one-way ticket to Switzerland? You know, Dignitas. He said, oh, no, Jeff, no. He said, what you've got to realise, he said, is when you pee and crap in your pants, they send these lovely young ladies to wash your private parts with a sponge and warm water. Then you dry it with a towel, bit of talcum powder. He said, you know what, Jeff? He said, a lot of the guys in here could make it to the toilet if they wanted to, but why bother? You know? And you know what? Here's the thing. That meeting with Dennis, it changed my life. Because from up until then, for years I've been dreading getting to the stage that he's at, which I'm not far off it, And suddenly I find I'm quite looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a lovely audience. In fact, you know what? I'm actually going to write a little note to all your parents telling them how good you've been.
Oh, Stockwell! Yeah, man, you guys see the famous Stockwell Ninjas? No, they couldn't, they? Had to say something. So this fella goes into the hardware shop, he picks up a can of fly spray, says, "Is this stuff good for wasps?" The fella said, "No, man, it fucking kills them." I'll never forget the last thing my dad said before he kicked the bucket. He said, "Watch how far I can kick this bucket." What's the difference between an onion and a chickpea? I've never been pepper sprayed for watching an onion. Hey, all right. We found a vibe. Good. I went to see my neighbour the other day. I said, "I'm really sorry, man. I think I just run over your cat." He said, "Well, shit, are you sure? What's it look like?" I said, "Well..." He said, No. He said, "What did it look like before you hit it?" Oh. Oh, God. I got two nieces, 6 and 1. Stupid names. My other half was doing the crossroad the other day, and she said, "What begins with F and ends in K?" I said, "No, it doesn't." Take your time. My mate Des, I love my mate Des. I love my mate Des. He's great, but he's not the sharpest tool in the box. Yeah, not the brightest button on the blazer. The wheel's still spinning, but the hamster's dead. I could go on. He turned up at a pub the other day with a lump of dog shit in his hand. He said, "Look what on," and he stepped in. He was a bit late home from the pub that night, partly my fault. And he's making a bit of noise, and his missus shouts down from the bedroom, she said, "What are you doing down there?" He said, "I'm trying to get a keg of beer up the stairs." She said, "For God's sake, just leave it down there, do it in the morning." He said, "It's too late, I've already drunk it." I saw him in the street the other day. He's walking down the road. He's like this. I said, "You all right, Des?" He said, "It's Jay." He said, I think I shit myself." I said, "Why are you walking like that? You should be walking like that." He said, "I ain't finished yet." You ever tried kicking a pigeon? It's fucking impossible. Anyway, I was in Eastbourne recently. I was in a hotel in Eastbourne. I like a nice hotel. This was a really nice hotel. They had a spa. Oh yeah, well that was me. I was straight down there, pint of milk, some mob knobs. The reason I was there is with my mum and my brothers. We were sort of commemorating the anniversary of my dad's passing. That's another thing, stupid thing people say, isn't it? So when did he pass away? Oh, he passed away 4 years ago, last month. Well, make your fucking mind up. You see, when you get to a certain age, right, the invitations for weddings start going down and the invitations for funerals start going up. Well, which I don't really mind. I quite like a funeral. I do. I prefer a funeral to a wedding. Yeah, simple dress code. Don't need to buy a present. No? Yeah, it's true. It's true. See, the thing is, my dad, he was a lovely fellow. You'd have liked him. He was a great guy. He used to say, "Now stop that, you'll go blind." I would say, "I'm over here, Dad." He always wanted to be buried in a black suit. That's all he ever wanted. He wanted to be buried in a black suit. But he could never afford a black suit. Couldn't ever afford a black suit. He only had a blue suit. And it happened to be the blue suit he was wearing the day he passed away. Anyway, not a lot you can do about it. So, well, you know. So, anyway, I go to the undertaker's, the day before the funeral just to make sure everything was okay. And the undertaker's there with a nice sort of smile. He says, "Oh, look at this." And I've looked down, and there's my dad, and he's wearing a black suit. I said, "Oh, you lovely man. How on earth did you do it?" He said, "Well, funny thing," he said, "after you left, another guy came in. And he was about the same age as your dad, about the same size. And he was wearing a black suit. but he wanted a blue suit. So I just swapped the heads. There's a beautiful line from a song by Mac Monroe, and it says, "I'll only miss him when I think of him, but I think of him every day." Guys, you've been brilliant. Thanks very much. Cavendish Arms, Dad. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Much. Ooh. Yeah, no, ooh's my abbreviation. Yeah, that's for old, fat, and dyslexic. So my name is Gordon Jones. It's not really. My first name is Keith, but as a cab driver once said to me a long time ago, "Who the fuck's called Keith?" I was a bit taken aback because I was 9 at the time. So I said 3 things. So quite a deep voice for a 9-year-old. I said, 1, you know I am, Grandad. 2, what's the grammar for using fuck in that way? And 3, what's your point? He's straight back with, well, if you're going to be like that, termite, 1, I know you are, 2, who gives a fuck, and 3, quite frankly, it's the I before E exception in the name that really pisses me off. So bearing in mind, he picks me up from school every day, I'm like, so I'm exceptional. I'm still telling Granny of you, and you can pay for my fucking therapy. And he did. And now I don't care what you call me. I mean, what's in a name? Well, technically, an A and an M. You see the N and the E, they're at the edge, therefore they're not in the name. Now, I apologise. Metaphorically, every now and then I'm going to go off on a piggyback ride and a posh bloke who owns a tangent, or owns a sunbed. Or to be clear, I'm going to go off on a tangent. So I'm here for a bit of stress relief. My therapist said that I should share more. So I'm here. Yeah. Interesting, that's the same thing that my dietitian said to me. They also said I should work on portion control, which bizarrely is the same thing that my sex therapist said. I said, don't worry, I've got that in hand. The sex therapist also said that I should stop watching Vinnie Jones movies because apparently Gone in 60 Seconds give me the wrong subliminal vibe. So in the spirit of sharing, I'm Snakes Alive, that's 55 if you don't go to the bingo. I like to think I'm on point. By that I mean I've got 4G, I've got grey hair, I've got glasses, I've got a gut, I've got a slightly grumpy affect. When I was growing up, we moved to the country actually, and all my farming friends were very jealous of me because I had a massive cock. But when I moved back to the city, I had to buy an alarm clock. So I went to a massive school, and it didn't take long for the teachers to realise the neurodiversity issues. I was fucking bright, they weren't. I had a problem with knowing too many facts and telling them at the wrong time. So the philosophy teacher stood up and said, "Why am I standing here? So is it because the anatomical position of the penis is erect?" Apparently, a fact can get you suspended, but it can't get you expelled. So there you go. Apologize. I keep changing mic hands. That's because I'm ambidextrous. Of course I am. Not to be mistaken with ambidextrous, which is the ability to masturbate with both hands. I'm that as well. I've got a little bit of arthritis in my left hand, so I tend to skew off to the right. But at least I don't have to clean the screen anymore. I'm aspirationally middle class. I have been ever since I worked for a posh bloke as his gardener. Everything was going really well. So one day he bursts into the shed shouting, "What are you fucking doing?" I said, 2 things. I said, 1, have you just used fucking as an adverb? And 2, I think you'll find that what that I'm doing is your wife. So all my mates call me Millers. So I'm a man in my 50s, and I've got some health worries. Or by that I mean I'm concerned about my prostate. Quick fact check: prostate, male-only organ, accessible up your arse or through your penis. If you believe in divine creation, that's an ecclesiastical error. If you don't, it's a Darwinian fuck-up. Either way, what's the point of having an organ that's difficult to get to and giving it a warranty that runs out at 50? So when you're 50, you go to your GP, and so he said, you need to have a PSA, that's a blood test, but I couldn't have it because apparently you have to abstain from masturbating for 48 hours. Who knew that was a thing? So the next bit is a digital. So when you get the digit, I suggest you look at it. So what you want to see is something akin to the fact that E.T. is just about to go home. When you're facing the wall, reassuring hand is placed on your hip. That means entry is imminent. If a second reassuring hand is placed on your hip, hope the nurse has just arrived in the room. So there I was, reassuring hand on hip, facing the wall, and the doctor says in a very calm voice, he said, now Dave, no jerking movements. So two things. One, that ain't going to happen. And two, my name's not Dave. He goes, no, but sorry, but mine is. Thank you very much.